Um, just gonna do a quick little thing. I don't have hours to spend on this because I know plenty of hours have already been spent on this. Give me a second here. Just double checking to make sure I'm live and not talking to myself because it's happened before. Let's see. Give me 1 second here. See, on one side it shows I'm live, on the other side it shows that I'm not, that I'm still pending. Mm. Mm. What the heck? Okay. Yes, we are live here. So, I know most of y'all, if not everyone here, has seen what's been going on with all these different platforms and the fighting. I don't want to get like into it too much because I know I've already covered a lot of it. Like it's already obvious. It's obvious, and everyone knows my stance on when it comes for asking for money. Am I guilty of asking for money in the past? Yes, I have. I asked for help when I needed it, but I didn't depend on it. I didn't expect it. It wasn't like something that I just expected would continuously happen and always, put my hand out there. I asked for it once and then that was it. And it's even gone to the point where I've tried putting on like little fundraisers and little giveaways and stuff like that, and asking for anyone to contribute to it to me feels dirty, which is why like when I do giveaways or when I have done them in the past, it's been on me 100%, like because I'm not doing it to get rich. I'm not doing it to make any money or anything. I'm doing it because I want to have fun. I want to have fun on this platform. And, usually around Halloween is when I do my Halloween giveaway. Maybe I'll do it this year. Last year I skipped it because if I wasn't, in the mood for it really. But a good example of I need to put my phone off to the side so I cannot be distracted by it. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Dropping into the chat little by little. Let's, settle in. Let's, get this going. I was going to go live last night, but I had, other things that came up, like dinner and TV. My priorities, am I right? And I spoke to Cecilia about this. I spoke to her before she went live, and I spoke to her after she went live about it. I'm just trying to see what I said. What I was watching and waiting for on Celia's live was the screenshots. Everyone, like, that was what I thought was gonna go, because all this is hearsay. A lot of it's, was someone gonna help? Was someone not gonna help? Is Rosa running Medusa? Is Jaime selling medication on the sides? Like, so much of it is hearsay, and people have admitted to like a few things here and there. And I think it's great to go on what's been admitted, but if you don't share the proof, like, what's the point of even saying it if you're not going to show the proof? Like, I've heard Rosa's Medusa for a long time. I'm curious on who Medusa is. I've spoken with the platform Medusa, and I've never come out just outright and said, hey, like, who are you? Like, tell me who you are or anything, because that's not my deal. But if there is proof out there, apparently Jaime or someone has screenshots of Rosa admitting that she's Medusa. Like, I would like to see that before I go and be like, okay, like, Medusa has to answer up to these, things. But saying it just to say it, I mean, I could say I'm Medusa. I could say that I'm, a co-admin in Snakes and Backstabbers. I could say I'm. But if no one needs to prove it, then why keep saying it? Like, it doesn't matter, but I'm saying, like, that was brought up, and I'm saying, like, "Okay, well, why bring it up if you say you have proof and it's not coming?" Like, I feel it was just a hook to like try and bring people in, be all like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do screenshots," and there's no screenshots. And I have nothing against Cecilia. Me and Cecilia are cool, and me and her have a cool understanding that we're not going to agree on everything. We're going to disagree with each other on stuff, but we could still talk and be civil. And I think that's what it's all about. Me and her agree on a lot. We disagree on a lot of stuff too, and we could still talk. So that's why I feel I could say this. Um, if screenshots are there, show the screenshots. I mean, what else? What's the point of saying anything if you're not going to back it up? Because then I could easily say a whole bunch of stuff. I could say, you know, someone's selling Xanax to somebody else. I could say that someone's running all these other platforms. I could say that someone's blackmailing someone, and you know, you all are at no liberty to agree with what the hell I'm saying. But I'm sure some of you all out there and be like, okay, well, where's your proof? Like, why are you saying this? Where is it coming from? Like, why bring it up if there's no proof? Like, if you're gonna run a whole platform just on hearsay, then there's no reason for people to truly believe you. And that's across the board everywhere. Like, if I have proof of something and I'll show it. um so yeah, Cecilia's live was good. I told her it got messy when it became like a little bit of back and forth with like when Connie called, because I felt, and I know a lot of people on her live felt, that it wasn't an even that that it wasn't, hey, what's up, sauce, that it wasn't even, because I felt that when it was Jaime talking, her point was, okay, we're going to speak about facts, we're going to get all the facts out there, we're going to share everything. But then as soon as Jaime was off, that's when the show became like, oh well, this is just opinion, this is just my opinion, like I'm just giving my opinion of what I think. Like, you kind of need to decide, are you going to stand up for facts, are you going to throw it out there, or are you going to just do opinion? Yeah. And the whole recording, it's bullshit. I've never recorded. I don't partake in any like group chats or anything like that. Like, if I'm sure people have recordings of me because I've spoken to people over the phone. Like, I spent an hour talking to Tammy a couple of weeks ago. I've talked to Jaime over the phone multiple times. I've talked to Frank over the phone. I've talked to Manny over the phone. I've talked to Cecilia over the phone. I've talked to Rosa over the phone. Like, I've talked to a lot of people over the phone. So, if any recordings come out from that conversation, it's not me. It's the person I spoke to. And that's why anytime I do speak to anyone, I have that in the back of my mind, like, okay, more than likely this is being like recorded, so I need to throw everything out there and not try and put it in a way where it could be twisted to benefit someone else's narrative. uh so yeah, a lot of shit goes down because a lot of people will tell one thing to one person. A lot of people will tell something to one person but then go tell something to somebody else. So um if you're obviously caught in a lie, I think that's when the screenshots should come out. I don't think the screenshots should just be handed out like, oh look, I'm talking to this person, here's a screenshot. I'm talking to this person, look what we're talking about. Oh, we're laughing about this, like, here, let me share this. No, like, if screenshots come out, I think there should be a reason, like, um this person's saying this on live, but they're telling me a completely different story, or they're saying that they have this information, but here I have a screenshot of them saying they have no information. They're just trying to like bait somebody, or they're just trying to get someone to come out and admit to something. Like, okay, that's when shit starts becoming to where, like, okay, we can't really believe this person. This person's losing credibility because they're all over the place. Yeah, and it's always recording like friends. It's recording friends, and the recordings come out once they're no longer friends. Like, okay, like, who can you trust? That's why I don't That's why I don't pick sides. I talk to, people, I talk to a little bit of everybody, but I'll never come and say like, "Okay, I like you. I'm gonna defend the hell out of you, and I'm gonna help you get your image back." I'm like, "No, no, no. Look, you fucked up. You did this. Like, admit to this, and then maybe we'll talk about me giving you some public support." Yeah, and then yeah, I don't think there's any friends when it's between platforms. I think it's more like everyone who has a platform like works in the same place, so everyone's kind of like co-workers. I don't think it's like Jaime and Cecilia. Okay, they hang out and stuff like that, but I think about 99% of everyone else, it's more like, okay, we share the same workspace, which is the internet, which is YouTube, which is Facebook, which is TikTok, whichever platform they use. Uh, and I think it's good to be, civil with each other. That's why I try and be civil with everyone and like try and have everyone on the same playing field. But I don't think it's like, oh, well, you came on my live a few times, so like we're besties now. Like I got your back no matter what. And no matter like what comes up and you get burned for, like that's, me. In the case it wasn't one person recording another, Connie left a voice message to Jaime, but then who released the voice message? Like that's and I don't know what happened with like someone sending Velda messages or someone sending Connie messages. I don't know because it's not my thing. It doesn't, my world keeps spinning. I know people have more like in the game or anything. I'm just speaking like outside looking in on how it looks. And this isn't, a video to like bash Jaime. Like I have nothing against him. I have not like I don't like want anything bad to happen to the guy, but I don't feel that like me and him are friends or me and him like, are buddies. I know when I spoke to Tammy like a couple of weeks ago, she was telling me like, "Oh, I wish whatever you and Jaime had going between you like was squashed, and I wish y'all would get." But hey, what's up, KK? I wish y'all would like go back to the way things were. I wish y'all would like get each other's backs and stuff. And my like, I have no problem with Jaime. I just choose not to associate because back in January is when I told him I was like, hey, like the money thing, it's already becoming too much because that's when the whole monthly supporter thing came out on YouTube with him, and I think Ophelia had done it as well. I was like, look, it's not a good image. It's not, this is not what you want to do because this is going to start making people think like, why am I going to pay money and get like the same thing when support is like true support is free? Mm, yeah, and a lot of it is half truths, and a lot of it is like, oh, I'm gonna kind of indirectly say this to try and get someone to admit to something because I have a feeling that they're doing this. Like that's what most of this is also. And like me and Jaime have never fought. We've never gone after each other. Like we joke and like we poke at each other and stuff like that, but it's never been like a full on like square up like meet me here or anything. And because we don't have to. And I should have gotten something to drink. I'm thirsty as hell. But yeah, like I started saying like, okay, this whole money thing, it's and blaming it on mental health is not the way to go. Everyone has a little bit of a mental health issue. I don't think anyone's 100% exempt from, mental health issues. There's anxiety, there's depression, there's all these different things. And, I've done it too. I mean, I've been in therapy before. Been I've been in therapy before. I've had, very dark thoughts. I've come very close to, just going through with the said thoughts. And like, I'm going to be real here. Like, I said this isn't to bash Jaime. I'm kind of trying to talk about like, my side of this. I always say like, I don't let what other people say like get to me. And that's true. And that's because no one could say anything that I haven't said to myself. Like no one could insult me the way I've insulted myself, with the way I've talked down about myself, with the way I've put myself down. Like that's why anyone can say whatever they want about me because I've hurt myself more than anyone else can. And even the times where I've come close to just saying, like, you know what, like, I don't need this. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't need any of this. Like, I could just end it, and we could just everyone will move on. Yes, I'll have friends and family show up for me when I'm gone, but that's gonna be it. And like the reasons that like I got pulled out of that, the reasons I never went through any of that when I was younger, was because I'm such a people pleaser. I was like, I don't want to disappoint my grandmother, or I don't want to disappoint a family member, or I don't want to disappoint my brother or sister. Like, that's really the only reason why I never went through with anything, because I was too worried about further disappointing somebody, if that makes sense. And I not everyone had the greatest childhood. Like, I'm not going to use that as an excuse, but I and like no one has to like their childhood. Like, I had good moments in my childhood, I had bad moments in my childhood. Maybe that's the reason why I'm always trying to collect relics from my childhood, to try and give myself the childhood that I didn't have, to try and see if I can make myself happy by doing these things. Like, it's it's not an excuse. Yeah, that's all I'm saying, is it's not an excuse. And from what I've seen and stuff that I've seen at like the behavioral centers and stuff, the people who talk about wanting to end it, the people who talk about that they're in a dark place, the people that like mention it the most, are the ones who aren't fully there. I'm not saying it's 100% that, but for the most part, like the ones who usually do go through with it and like end, like unalive themselves, they're always the ones you don't expect it from. They're always the happy ones. They're always the ones that you had no idea they were even dealing with this. Like, look at Chester Bennington, look at Robin Williams, you look at all these other people who had great lives, who were always seen as center of attention, who were always having a good time. You never like, even family members, even their spouses said, like, they never mentioned this, they never showed any sign of wanting anything like this. And that's because the ones who talk about, who the ones who really feel it, the ones who are there at the edge, they don't want their loved ones, they don't want their friends, they don't want their family to know that this is the final solution. If happiness isn't found here, this is my final solution, and they don't want to be driven away from that. And maybe that's why I never talk about it. Like, I've spoken to people like professionally, and sometimes it's good just to have friends in your circle, but from the people I've seen at behavioral centers and people I've talked to on the phone, because I've talked to so many, like, I've lost count of the people I've talked to over the phone who would call 911 saying they wanted to end their lives, who just wanted to end it. I spent over an hour on the phone with one guy one time because he was walking on Harvey and 10th Street in McAllen, and he was just saying, like, I just want to walk into traffic, like, I just don't want to be here. And then I started talking to him, I started throwing some curveballs, like, okay, you know what, like, we don't have to talk about what's going on in your life, but tell me your favorite song, like, tell me your favorite music, tell me a TV show that you like talking about, like, just trying to pull them out of it. And in the end, it wasn't that he wanted to hurt himself, it's just that he wanted someone to talk to, and that's what I was able to do for him. He just wanted to know that his thoughts didn't have to stay in his head, that they were able to be pushed out. And maybe if that's what Jaime really needs, is sometimes it's not therapy. Therapy helps, getting sectioned helps a lot of people also, but it could easily just be that he needs someone to talk to, and not someone to talk to about, like, oh, well, when are you going to go live, or I think you should talk about this, or oh, we need to make jokes about this, or you need to do this on your show. That's not the kind of talk he needs to be doing. He needs to try and figure out how to change his situation. And it's not only the financial situation. It could easily be like, okay, well, hobbies that don't involve getting in front of a camera, performing in front of people, putting on a show, because at that point that's for the public. That's not really for Jaime. Yes, it's nice to, have some kind of interaction with the comments back and forth, but it, it becomes a stressful job when you have this expectation from people that, oh, he has to go live today. It's 9 o'clock. Why isn't he live yet? And Eve's Apple, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's how I started. Like, it shouldn't be used as an excuse, because people who have real big mental issues, they don't like talking about it. Like, no one likes talking about their problems. Like, do you think I like talking about, you know, my thoughts, where my mind goes when, I'm just sitting there doing nothing? Why do you think I try so hard to like keep my mind busy with, reading books? This whole time we've been talking, I've been sorting out my baseball cards. Like, no one wants to talk about what's going on with them. A lot of people don't, and that's why therapists have to work so hard just to break down those walls to find out what's going on with someone. And that's why I think that the mental health issue and stuff shouldn't be an excuse, because everyone has it. I know everyone in this chat probably has something going on right now that they would love to blame all their problems on. Like, that's a scapegoat. Like, that's such an easy way out. Like, I said this and I shouldn't have. Oh, it's my mental problems. Or, I backstabbed this person and I betrayed this other person. Like, oh, it's that time of the month. It's my mental problems, kind of thing. Like, that's that's not good. And then adding to this, and then continuing to go live, or even uh calling into a live, like, that doesn't help either. Like, that kind of makes it worse, because instead of separating yourself from the situation, all you're doing is entering it from another angle. Like, okay, like, I'm still going to be live, I'm still going to get my name out there, I'm still going to have, people hyping me up, but it's going to be on a different platform. Like, I don't think, yeah, mental illness isn't a joke. When I worked at DHR, I was a mascot at DHR, so I would dress up and, Dr. Teddy Bear. I had my own plush action figure of me, and I would just go hang out in the behavioral center with kids. And, I wasn't allowed to talk, but I was there, just trying to get their minds off of it. Like, and these were like 12-year-old kids who had attempted. These were like, you know, kids. So I see like how people were affected, and I don't think any of them would ever use the things they did. They would never use mental illness as an excuse for the things that they did. Hitting their parents or running away and stuff like that. It could be a cause, but I don't think they're gonna be like, oh, it's my mental illness. Like, that's why I'm, doing these things. Like, no, there's always a line factor. And I've always said it, like, so I take so many mental health breaks. Like, that's why I only go live like once a month, because it's taxing. It adds to my mental health when, I try and do a live every single day. Like, I give kudos to those who can, or those who could at least, dance with their mental demons and put up with it. But it's not my thing. It's just, these lives are, not just for me to make money and stuff. I think that's what pushes people to do this daily, because this is their only source of income. Like me, I have sources of income to where this is just kind of like, hey, let's hang out, let's have a conversation, let's all weigh in on this one issue together. And yeah, he's charismatic. He's able to, he's able to be funny and stuff like that. But the thing is, and I said this months ago, the issue is his Cash App and the asking has become his catchphrase. Like, it became a catchphrase to where it's, oh, you're not obligated to show your support, but let me repeat my Cash App about 4 or 5 more times. And I even said, like, any of his videos, you could cut it off about 10 minutes before the end, because all you're gonna get is the asking for cash apps, the indirectly asking stuff. And then it's always followed by you're not obligated, but I always said that's such a manipulative, like, tactic on trying to squeeze out a little bit more. Like me going to say like, hey, I need to pay my car bill. Like $200 short. You're not obligated in any way, but let me continue to like paint this, sob story of my situation and stuff like that. That's what I got sick of, and that's why I stopped watching. And that's when I started talking like, and when I talk about like dry beggars, like he's not the only one. There's plenty out there, and it's not just local. There's big time YouTubers and live streamers that do this. A really big one is Boogie. There's this live streamer named Boogie. At one point, he had a net worth of $2 million, and he would go live and he would have hundreds of thousands of people there. He got dependent on anytime he would paint a sob story, people would donate. And because of that, he started getting addicted to substances. He started getting addicted to strippers. He started getting addicted to ladies of the night. And he's right now at a point where he had to sell off his earning. He had to sell off like the channels that he was part of, that he started. He is now divorced. He refuses to get a job when he's perfectly capable of. He faked cancer last month. And right now he's fighting for just $4,000 a month in order to keep the lights on in his place. Like he went from being one of the biggest, like, and he's like early like YouTubers. Like he's like one of the OG like streamers. And everyone got tired of him always asking for money, and he went from having millions of followers to just a few people who watch just to see what happens. And that's kind of what happens. The story of Icarus, fly too close to the sun, and this is what happens. No, and I understand like asking every once in a while, like, okay, but like the day, yeah, his apology sucked. With Boogie, like he's going crazy. I was actually wanted to do a video talking about him because I feel like it relates to this, and this kind of just shows that this isn't just local. This isn't just time. This is a big issue where people get a little bit of money live streaming, and then they start getting low money because they start getting monthly supporters and people who donate, and people who want to keep the stream going, and they start anticipating that, okay, well, this month I got $3,000 from my supporters, so that means the next month I'm gonna get 3,000. So let me go ahead and spend a little extra than I usually do because that 3,000 is still gonna be coming in. And you have good months and you have bad months. Like this kind of revenue stream is something that isn't guaranteed. YouTube puts out every year like what months are the highest months for earners and what months do streamers not make anything. Like the summer months, YouTubers don't really make anything. Like that's the lowest amount, and this is across the board. The biggest earning is December and January, because streamers usually do Vlogmas where they do 25 days of just streaming, and then the unboxing of gifts, and then January kind of leads into that because people still haven't gone back to school. Problems with substances. I mean, I feel like there's a substance. I'm not going to say that there is because I don't know him. I don't talk to him or anything. But if you take his videos from a year ago and compare it to, compare July 2023 to July 2024, or even, January 2023 to January 2024, you see that there is a change, and it's not just a financial situation change. I feel like they're might be a little. I'm not going to go out there and like blast and say, oh, he's on substances, but from the looks of it, it looks like it. My opinion is it's a possibility, but I'm not going to just go out and flat out start spreading that he is or not. Like, I know a lot of people do feel the same way. Um, KK, since you know stuff like this, the Ace family also is super bad about faking their lifestyle for YouTube, but then expecting like a bunch of money and like their reputation is ruined also. Wanna go lightly? I haven't watched her. I only watched her like when she was first introduced a little bit, and then I stopped watching because I got bored. I stopped watching, but he was very enjoyable to watch, and I will say that all the time. Like I will say all the time that he is charismatic when he's when he's on his game. He hasn't been on his game lately, and that's the money thing always throws because it started off with um like years ago. I think it started off with like the car payments, and like the car payment was a continuous thing, and then I don't even know what happened to the car disappeared and stopped becoming his set, and then it became the phone bill. And I mean, as it is, it's a small phone bill, like compared to like my phone bill. Like I feel like I should be asking you all to pay my phone bill because my phone bill is like $400 a month. But like shows are getting short if you certain pay much. Yeah, well, the shorter thing I think was a strategy he was trying to do because the longer the stream, the less money you make based on your viewers. Which is why I try and do like even right now. This is long for me. I usually try and do like between 10 to 30 minutes, and I could have less views on a 10 to 30-minute video, and my revenue on it is higher than if I do like an hour-long video with 3 times as many views, because it's not the amount of views, it's the watch time. Like people are more likely to sit through a 10-minute video, so you get like 80% of the full video watched by one person versus trying to get hundreds of people to watch a 2-hour long video. Like that's the proper way to do it. So I think maybe that was his strategy, because maybe he did a short one and saw like, oh, I'm making a lot more money off of this 10-minute video. Like I'm gonna just do these 10-minute videos. But then eventually it got to where it was like a 10-minute video, and the whole thing from beginning to end was the Cash App or the birthday, or like, yeah, it's your birthday. Like, people should, celebrate it. I know one birthday I threw out my Cash App and I got like a little bit, but it wasn't me like begging nonstop. I don't even think I put it out there. I think someone said, oh, your birthday's coming, like let me send you something. So I sent her my Cash App and that was it. It's not like I went like with the full expectation, like, okay, everyone who watches me has to send me something and I'm gonna announce it a whole month prior. Oh, Cecilia's live. I didn't even know she was going live. Let me see. It was weird. We were talking the other day.
Her 2 cents. I mean, for her to say, "Oh, I'm not gonna talk about it," and that she knows the only reason. You want to know the fucking reason? Go on the website of the fucking wherever that courtroom is at, and you'll see the thing. It says there the fucking reason. No fucking show. That's the reason.
Oh, it's the whole Cecilia, the whole Roser not showing up. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I was told before that charges were dropped. Like I knew about it before the day actually came, so it's not really like a no-show. It's just that charges were dropped, and Cecilia wants people to go and do it. Like, I mean, I think that would build your credibility if you're the one making this claim, to go do the legwork yourself, send out emails, get it, and then show it, and then you could rub it in Roser's face that she was lying the whole time. I think there's a right way and a wrong way of doing it. The long videos get boring. I go in and out. Like even if it's a streamer that I enjoy watching, I can't dedicate like a whole hour. Like I enjoy Kathy's videos. from time to time. So like I'll be there for a little bit, and then I go do something, and then I'll come back. But and then I even put it in the chat like, oh, we're still live. Like, okay, like what are we talking about? And then I go back out and stuff like that. KK unblock me. I won't ever ask how many babies close. Let me see. Oh, Celia ended. I was gonna see what else she was talking about. I was curious. Yeah, like basically the main thing, you don't have to hate Jaime. You like if you don't like the money thing, like I don't like the money thing, and like asking, like that's it. That shouldn't create like a witch hunt on this thing. Like I've always said, like it should never be a witch hunt. Like I think you should be free to say, like, hey, I don't like that this person did this, and hey, what's going on, Shelly? And just leave it at that, you know. And you know, if Roser did drop, going back to the Roser thing, if Roser did, you know, did a no-show, I mean, that should be easily accessible to find for anybody, and then they could just post it up. Look, the one person I don't even like give a shot to is Glow. Like I not fighting with her or anything, it's just that I can't get into her stuff, just like I'm sure people can't get into, you know, my stuff, like, you know, and I don't hate them for it. So like I don't know what Glow has been saying or trying to say or anything. I feel like Glow's always somewhere around all this, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, but he has to want to do it. I know he, you know, turned it away, and that's his decision. But I think, at least the way I'm saying it, the way I would do it. At least the way I would do it is, if I know something's bad for me, if I know I need help, I would go and get help. Let me see. I am live right now. I'm gonna ask. I'm curious if it was a no-show or if charges were really dropped. Dropped. Oh, I said dripped charges, not drip charges. Who's live right now? Everyone's going live right now. But yeah, like one thing that bothers me, and I'm not gonna say that everyone needs to apologize or everyone needs to, you know, take back what they said or what they did, but I talked about all this like months ago, and I had so many like subscribers leave, like my channel started like going down. But like now, like in the past month, when like all this is coming out, like everyone's kind of filing back and everyone's kind of stuff. So I'm not saying you have to apologize, but I'm just saying, hey, I had a point, you know. Let's see. Well, I messaged Roser. Like she's like I've talked to her like little, but like in and out, like little by little. So I'm trying to see what she'll tell me if I just ask her directly, because I don't want to, you know, pussyfoot around this whole thing. So I just want to be all like, look, say it. Say if you dropped the charges or you didn't show. Well, I kind of think, because I had a feeling this was like coming like ahead of time already. I just ate a $30 gummy. I should go to bed. No, you should double it up. Double it up and pass it to the next person. Thank you, my lo-fi vibes. What it could have been is because I think they were telling Roser that like nothing's really gonna happen because we're not really talking about a murder charge here. We're not talking about like anything crazy like that. We're talking about just words being said. In the end, they were probably gonna say, look, she'll have this on her, on her charges, like on her history, on her CCH, whatever they want to call it. We're not looking at any jail time. She still can't talk about you or mention your family, so you're good there. But, we're really not looking at anything. At that point, if Roser wanted to see it as a loss, like if nothing was going to happen, or she just didn't want to continue with it because nothing was going to happen, maybe that's when she decided, like, okay, I just won't show up. Like, I'm dropping charges. Like, by her not showing up, charges were dropped, which is pretty much the same thing. Yeah, it was gonna be a slap on the wrist charge. Like, the effort was made. Maybe that's just how she took the L. Like, if she knew nothing was gonna happen, I mean, just not go. I'm trying to find out from her, but she's not replying to any of my messages right now. At 6 p.m. she's going live. Who's going live? Who's going live, Marigold? I mean, if someone else is going live, I'll just boot myself off and, go back to what I see in the RGV. See you next time. Core crap is stressful, yeah, especially if you're not going to get the result you want. Like, why bother? I sued somebody because someone broke into my car, stole a whole bunch of stuff, but the idiot left his phone in my car. So that's how I was able to figure it out, like on who it was. So it ended up being like this younger guy who lived like a block away, and he had been breaking into a whole bunch of cars. I lived by a judge. So at first the police officer took my report, said like, I don't know if anything's gonna happen, like we need to investigate this. But when I found out that a judge's vehicle had also been broken into and had stuff stolen, that's when, instead of an officer, an investigator came to me to get my information and stuff like that. And we went to court. I was given what is it called? I forgot the term, but basically he owes me like $600 and some dollars. He won't be off probation until he fully pays me the money. But here I am thinking, this guy's like 18, 19 years old, doesn't have a job, is stealing, has a record, and currently in jail. I'm not going to get that money back. I could kick and scream and attend every court hearing and file all these motions and write to all these judges, but in the end, I'm not going to get anything. So that's why it happened years ago, and I just left it. Like, if he stays on probation, he stays on probation, but I know I'm probably never going to see that money that he owes me or the items that he stole from my vehicle. But it's not worth the hassle to me. It's not worth any of, the stress or dealing with it to go through all this just to have a couple of dollars, like at the end of the day. Like, it's not worth it to me. Maybe that was similar to how Roser felt, because it sucks. Yes, I would like that money back. Yes, the dude stole my Nintendo DS. I had like 98% of Super Mario World 3D done on that one. I had a whole lot of good Pokemon that I was about to go and fight the Elite Four with. So I had like a lot of stuff on that DSi. No, it was the DS3D. It was the DS3D. But if it's not going to get me anywhere, I don't want to deal with it. Maybe that's exactly how Roser felt. Hey, what's up, Danny? Yeah, and in the end, in the end, it's Rose's decision. And I said it days ago, like, yeah, people are gonna be pissed off, but I mean, instead of being like pissed off and everyone just going off on Rose, or why doesn't anyone just talk to her and find out her side? Like, I don't think you should, like, yeah, you could be upset, but I don't think you should like just blame someone when I feel Roser's done probably more than anyone. Like, she's taken it as further, like, as far up the hill as possible against Ophelia. Didn't go all the way, over the hill, but I mean, I don't think anyone else has come that close. Oh, and Corpus, shit goes on in Corpus. The stories. I have a cousin in Corpus, so I've heard stuff that goes on over there. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off. I know I'm done because I finally finished putting all my cards in little backers. That's what I've been doing with my hands this whole time, because I feel like I'm able to talk a lot freer if my hands are doing something, and it lets my mind just go off on whatever I want to talk about. See, something that's obviously something with my mind. I'm not gonna use it as an excuse or anything. It's just what I have. I'm gonna go put these away. I need to sort them out by teams alphabetically, which is going to be fun considering I have like 700 cards I need to do this for. But hey, if Cecilia wants to go live later, I mean, she's gonna go live later. Like, no one's gonna stop her, and we'll see. Hopefully we get like some more proof if she pulls that out. We must get over there. We must march on. Oh man, beach house. I've been wanting to go to the condo. There's like a little family condo at the island, but maybe I will. School's already gonna start. I've been real busy like all morning. I woke up because my daughter decided, hey, I want to be in athletics, so now I need to go get athletic clothes and shoes and all this stuff. I was a mathlete, and now she wants to be an athlete. That's God's way of laughing at me. But I'm gonna hop off, talk to y'all later, see if I go live later, and who knows what's gonna happen later on. This isn't going anywhere. This is gonna continue. We all know, like, it's been quiet for a couple of weeks, so as soon as something like major happens or something that people can latch onto and all be opinionated about, it's going to be stretched on for weeks and weeks and weeks. So this is the first of it. This isn't the last of it. So we'll see what happens. We'll talk to you.